Okay, we are here again, and we're going to look at the 2020 paper A with the PID. So let me share my screen and get this going. Okay, so we have the 2021 PID, and we are going to fill out the different tables on the PID. All right, this PID to fill this PID, it's straightforward. All you have to do is read your set task brief before and make notes on the different areas to know what the aims are, what the objectives are, what the scope is. And from there, you can just fill in the PID. All right. Without further ado, let's look at our set task brief. Okay, so this is our set task brief here. It's about Maxby Limited. It's an international law firm with headquarters based in Leeds. The managing director, Miss Payton, is keen on installing smart devices throughout the business, such as temperature control, lighting, and the printer. Your company is IIT, specializing in designing and installing these systems. Your task is to manage a project to install hardware, software, and configure a new system. All right, so this is your part A. And I have read through this. You should read through the set task brief and make the necessary notes so you can complete the PID. All right, so let us look at the first thing, the project detail. We need to come up with a title for a project. So we need to create a title. And usually what I do, I would use the company's name, which is MaxP. I'm going to do copy and pasting for this. All right, I'm going to use MaxP Limited, sorry. And I'm also going to say what project I will be working on. And the project I'll be working on involves installing smart devices throughout the business, such as temperature. So I'm going to say MaxP Limited smart devices installation. And that's what I'm going to use for my topic. Now, the other thing we're going to look at is who is our sponsor. A lot of people will get confused with this. How I try to get my learners to understand this is the sponsor would be the person who is spending the money on the company. So in this case, or spending the money on the project, the person who is going to set the aims and the objectives for the project, that person is going to be the sponsor. And if we go through, it says Miss Payton has requested, and through it she feels the system will develop. So if you notice, it's just pointing to Miss Payton. So she would be our sponsor. And then the client. We are working for ITT. Therefore, the client would be MaxP because MaxP Limited is the one that requires the upgrading of the smart devices. So we're going to use MaxP Limited for our client, and of course, the project manager would be myself. All right, the start date of the project. Remember, you need to read through the set task brief and locate the start date of the project. I have already done that, so I know that my start date is going to be on the 1st of February 2021. So my start date is going to be first of February 2021. All right. My completion date, even though it's telling you here, it's an external project. So it's telling you that the completion, the company would like it to be completed by the 2nd of April. This is not the completion date because now you are the project manager. You are going to have to plan the whole project and to see that if this is a feasible date for it to be completed. So as a project manager, what you do, you would create the necessary Gantt chart and make the necessary plans to try to derive at a completion date. So your completion date is based on your planning. So this would have to be done using the Gantt chart. All right, and the estimated cost. All right, if you notice, it's saying down at this section here that estimate the allocated budget is £125,000. However, we cannot know what the estimated cost is yet until we have done the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart will determine this, and our costing will also determine it. So we have to do our costing, and the costing will come from the Gantt chart that we are about to do in Project Libra. So this I just placed Gantt chart so I can remember that I have not filled in this section yet. All right. Now, the document detail. The document that we're talking about would be this PID that we're just creating, right? So version 1 and modification is none. The author is going to be me, who is the project manager. And the date. If this project is going to be it's going to be started on the 1st of February 2021. Then we'd have to get some time to plan for the project, which means that I am going to start my planning on the 3rd of January. It can be, the time should be before the start date. So we're going to plan before the start date. So I'm going to put mine on the 3rd of January. Because we know the 1st is New Year's Day, the 2nd would be a rest day and all of that. So it would be that one. All right. And that's it for the document details. Now, approval. After I have completed my document, right, I am going to look at, and as I said, I've read this before, so I'm going to look at my set task brief, and I am going to look at the people who can do approval. And on my project organizational structure, the only person here who will be able to do that approval would be Miss Payton. Ms. Payton would be doing the approval. So the name that goes on the approval here would be Miss Payton. And her role would be managing director. And we wouldn't put a signature in because we don't have her signature. But the date would be the same for this one, which would be the 3rd of February. So we just copy and paste it here. All right. Who would we distribute the document to? We're going to distribute the document to everybody. Sorry, the version is this, not the 3rd of February. Version is 1. And we need to put the version for this one also. Oh, it's there. So the version is 1, and the date would be the 3rd of February. And for the distribution, the document will be distributed to everybody. So we're going to say Miss Payton is going to be getting a copy of the document. She's the managing director. Date of issue. All right, the date of issue, let's say we can put it before. Let's say we do the 3rd of February, just like the rest of them. So we're going to distribute it on the 3rd of February. And it's still the same version, which is 1. All right, let's just fill these in with the dates because we're just going to distribute them. All right. So now we'll put the date. So we're going to distribute to Miss Payton. We need it for ourselves. So we're going to put myself also, because it should be a guide for me. Role would be project manager. I'm going to use PM. I'm just going to use initials, but when you're doing it on the all right, you know what? Let's do this to prevent confusion. And then we just paste it here. And then we're going to distribute it to these guys, this guy here. I'm going to put this over, Control X, and then we put this here. And then we need to distribute it to also this guy here, which is Sam Mandeli. All right. And then we can put here, we have junior network engineer team. Just put them all there. So we can just copy and paste them over. Let's do Bobby Gray. He's an app developer. And we have it's also oh, I could just put these two here. Control X, because these are both app developers. And then I could just put this one. And put the junior engineer here. Sorry about that. Sometimes these. So we need to put the junior software engineer. Here, and the name would be Jack Alderdice. Okay, and then we're going to create the extra rows for this. Insert row below. And we're going to insert another row below. All right, so Alderdice, and then Mendeley is a senior software. All right, we have those two. Alderdice, oh, we only needed one row because we're going, these are all junior network engineers. So we just put them here. And then we just get the names over. All right. And then all we have to do is just copy and paste these here. And we know that it's one. So let's see, we have everything. Project manager, senior software engineer, junior software engineer, senior software engineer, senior network engineer, app developers, junior software engineer, junior network engineer. All right, we have all of them. So that's who we're going to distribute to. Okay, so now in this on this PID, BTEC has sent the project aims on it. They have already done the project aim, and usually they would tell you what they have done when you're reading through the set task brief. So now we need to move on to project management and control. Okay, so we're going to look at how we're going to talk about how we're going to manage and control the project. All right, so my thing is this. You're just going to give a summary of how you're going to manage and control the project. And basically, first of all, you're going to you when you look at the PID, the set task brief, you know that there are certain things you have to do to ensure that you have proper management and control of the project. So I would put as a project manager, as a project manager, the team and I will be responsible for all the is being then will determine determine constraints, yes, determine time within the hold on within the determine constraints of the project. Of the project. Therefore, I will be monitoring the project's duration, budget allocation, quality standards. We need to put that in. And the scope. The team will meet regularly. The team will meet regularly to monitor progress and to plan strategies to overcome any problem maximum efficiency. Let's not do that. Let's see. Okay, the project manager will organize will organize not the project manager. I will, as a project manager, I will organize the work of the team by through the allocation of function points. Through the allocation to achieve maximum efficiency All right. So as a project manager, the team and I will be responsible for the project's aims and objectives being achieved within the determined constraints of the project. Therefore, I will be monitoring the project's duration, budget allocation, quality standards, and scope. The team will meet regularly to monitor progress and to plan strategies to overcome any problematic issues. As a project manager, I will organize the work of the team through the allocation of function points to achieve maximum efficiency. And that's basically a nice summary, and it's in relation to the set task brief that we can use for this purpose. Okay, background to propose work. When doing the background to propose work, right, I had given out a template of how the background to propose work should be done. All right, so you're going to look at the time scale, the different functional points, that all the different instances in the background to propose work. But what I always say to my learners is that it's right at the top here on the set task brief. What do they need? What does Miss Payton need? All right. So it's right here where you just look at what Miss Payton actually needs. This gives a background of what the project is all about. So she wants, she's keen on installing smart devices throughout the business, such as temperature control, lighting, and printers. All right. So Miss Payton, so this is your background to propose work. Right? You could start with that. You can just copy and paste that. So she's keen. And let's take this down, Control V. All right. So that's what Miss Payton is keen on. All right. And so the background to propose work is that we're going to Max P Limited. All right. The international law firm is you'll be installing uh smart devices, right? To Max P Limited. So she's keen on that. And this is what she requires, right? This is what she wants to do. She feels that, right? It will include all of this. All right? Lighting. So we're going to say Max P Limited. Max P Limited is going to be doing that. Max P Limited. It's an international law firm and headquarters based in Leeds. Control C. And the managing director Ms. Payton or is keen on, let's put is keen on, use their words, okay, is keen on installing smart mm, okay, printer. And you could say this includes so this includes, and we can just copy and paste here. This in, this will, this includes okay, okay, so max speed limited, the Internet of good, and the director must pay is installing smart devices through this. Right. The system will include, so include, and we can just put all of this here. All right. So the system will include the use of artificial intelligence, AI administrative assistants, right? And what does it do? We come down here. We look at what it will do. And we can put that in it. So it's going to, so it will use an artificial administrative assistant. And then we look down to this section here. What will the administrative assistant do? So minimize security risk, improve well-being of staff through a better office environment. So this administrative assistant AI would help help to control or monitor these smart devices, because basically that's what the automated system will do. So it's going to help to improve staff well-being and through a better office environment. So that's what it's going to be. To improve, we can put this. Which will improve the well-being through a better environment. Then we go to the other one. Track and manage printer. It will track and manage printer. So to the use of smart tagging equipment. So through the use of smart tagging equipment, track and manage printers, but we have that there. So this is what it's going to do actually. So you can just copy and paste these over. And also, with the background to propose work also, you can talk about different stuff such as the function points, right? Where you're going to allocate the function points. So we can go down here. And we can talk about the time allocated. So you look at, and in this case, with the background to propose work, you can use the Gantt chart. And when you've calculated your function points, you put it there. So I'm going to leave a section here and put Gantt chart. So I will come back and look at this. All right. Let me color it. So I'm going to use the Gantt chart. And what I'm going to talk about with the Gantt chart is time also. I'm going to talk about function points, the total function points. Put total here. talk about the material. What else can I talk about on this proposed work? All right. So basically, I'm just going to put those extra when I'm finished the Gantt chart. For now, we can use this, but I'm going to put the extra stuff when we finish the Gantt chart. All right. Purpose of the project. So the purpose of the project is this. Sorry, I'm scrolling on one. This is the purpose of the project. So we go up here. The purpose of the project is all of this here. So the purpose of the project is to so Ms. Payton feels that the new system will, and that's your purpose. All right? So that's your purpose of your project. She feels that it will. Now the responsibilities. All right. There are two ways we can do the responsibilities. We can do it from the Gantt chart or we can do it directly from the set task brief. So let us just go ahead and do it from the set task brief, which is a bit easier. So first of all, responsibilities. Yeah. So the responsibilities will start with Miss Payton. And she is the managing director. Right? Miss Payton is the managing director. What's her purpose? She's also the sponsor. So you don't have to put the managing director, but you can. But she's also the sponsor. And she's responsible for setting out the different, she's responsible for setting the objectives of the project, the aims, the objectives, right? That's one of her main purpose, right? She's responsible for funding, setting aims and objectives. Setting aims and objectives. She's responsible for ensuring the project is done within high standards and within company anything that the sponsor does. That's what she's supposed to do. All right. Let me just get these down from bold. All right. Now, so responsibility, junior network engineer, we're going to copy from here. Oh, we forgot to put you. Okay, let's just copy over first, then we can put the project manager. Oh, Control Z. All right, so we're going to do the control responsibilities. All right, so now we're going to come. Okay. All right, junior network engineer will work on that. Junior software engineer will work on so then we do senior. Then we do app developer will work on these. All right, is that it? Is that it for now? Yes, so far so good. All right, so, okay. Now, we can't just leave them as junior network engineer. We have to put the names in. All right. So, who are the junior network engineers? That's when we go back to our structure chart. All right, the junior network engineers are Jessica Woods, Minal Haq, and Steve Taylor. Will work on these. And junior software engineer would be one person. So that's Jack Alderson. And he is on that. And senior software engineer is Ahmad Iftikhar. We'll work on that. And then app developers would be Bobby Gray. And Harry Smith. And Harry Smith. I did not complete this section here. Let me finish up. Let's see what they've been working on. App developers will work on creating back end to customize app. Control C. All right. You can use the bullet point if you want. So let's just do that this way using the bullet points. This piece here. Consistency. All right, so we have these. Let's do this one also. Okay, materials. Let's do materials. So now, this is a material. And what I like to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is to create a table. That's my method, but you can just copy and paste it where you put smart indoor. All right, let's do it that way. Copy. We're going to paste it, control, and we're going to put 4,000 pounds. Then the next one is going to be smart locks. And that's going to be 25 times, let me calculate this with my phone. Oh, we already have these in our Project Libra, but we wouldn't have done it before Project Libra. So before the Gantt chart, so we need to calculate it right now. So it's 199 times 25, and that's 4,979 pounds. Then we have smart lighting. Which would be, that's about 5,000. That's 25 times 200. It's 5,000 pounds. And then the next one would be smart sensors. $899. Then we have sensors to measure rooms. That would be 4,499 pounds. I'm just multiplying as I go along. And smartphone, which is 600. times 10, that's 6,000 pounds. And then cables, that's 5,000 per, what's that, 5,000? Required 5,000 meters. So I'm gonna do my calculation. 5,000 meters times 6.99 is 34,900 pounds. 34,950 pounds. And then we have Wi-Fi access points. Should be about 350. So that's 350 pounds. Okay, so there we have the total for each item. Now we need a total for everything. So we need a total for everything. So that would be 4,000 plus 4,979. So that would give me about 60,607. So the total would be 60,000 60,677. Okay, so now that we have all of these, all right, now for our objectives. All right, as you can see, we had started filling this out when we did our Gantt chart. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to open Project Libra. I am going to open Project Libra. So I'm going to open Project Libra and I am going to open by Max P Gantt that I did before. Okay. All right. So we had done this before. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put that to the side. Put this to the side. Okay. We had done this before, right? So what we're going to do is, let me first of all I want to share this document here. Okay, we should be sharing at the moment. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to share. Let me just do this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to also share that. Let's be share. Okay, good. So now, Project Libra, we've already done our chart. So all we have to do now is just copy this, copy all the tasks to our objectives. All right. For example, I can copy this one and I can paste it here. All right. And then the time. So the time for this would be, I started this. Hold on, let me just copy this over. Um, so let's start and we do just a start and worked on by. Okay. So now I'm just going to copy this for the rest of them. Make it easier. So this is yes, because I can see that all my projects have been completed. My tasks have been completed. I'm going to put yes for this. All right. So setting up backend, the other one, and the setting up backend would be 5/2/21 start date. And ended on ended 17/2/21. So I'm using the dates here for my start and end date, 17/2/21. All right, that's my end date. Then I could just go back through. So I'm just going to put these in the start and end date, then I'll just put who worked on it afterwards. You can, as you go along, you could do who's working on it. For example, I could put Bobby Gray. But the reason why I'm doing it because I can just copy and paste it from other sections. All right, so I'm just going to copy and paste the configure security control protocols, Control C. Uh, it's up to you how you want to do this, but this is my method. Just ensure that you're doing it the right way. Want to insert more on mine. I'm going to insert some more rows. All right, I think we can use that much. So stress testing is also installing camera, installing network infrastructure, installing camera sensor. All right, so all right, so we're going to copy and paste these. And guys, remember, it's done. You can do this after your Gantt charts. But where you get what you're doing is actually putting the task for the SMART objectives. That's what you're actually doing. All right. All right. So what we can do is just, you have to do it with the Gantt chart. But remember, you would get your SMART objectives from your task that you'll be doing. So these tasks here are actually the same ones that I've placed on my SMART objective. But because I've done the Gantt chart before, I have all the necessary information to put in the date and comments. All right. So when you're doing it, you do that, and then you use your Gantt chart to fill in the dates and the comments. Who is working on the task? What date did it start? What date did it finish? Also, you can get your SMART objectives from other places, such as if you go to the bottom of the page, there are SMART objectives here, right? Because the project has to be finished at a certain time. For testing is a SMART objectives. You're going to run tests on it because it is SMART, right? And you can get it once you have its specific. Once you have time on it, the whole SMART. Once you have that on it, right? You can use it in this section. But my preference is the task itself. If you can put the task in to the SMART objectives, then it will be easier because you'll be doing a Gantt chart and you can take the date and time from the Gantt chart when you're doing it in Project Libra. All right, the scope of the project. The scope of a project. What would be the scope of the project? Let me go back. So the scope would be for you to be design a system that will use smart devices to do all of this. Let's go back to the top. So hold on, the scope of a project is here. You're going to be designing, right? And the scope don't have to be a lot, because the scope is for you to design and install a system. So you're going to design and install a system. System that uh, uses smart devices to control temperature, lighting, and the printers. Further reads, let me read some more on this. All right, and printers. So that's printers. Okay, so what do we need a system to do? Let's look at this. All right. So we're looking at this. So we wanted to control the lighting and of the system. We also would like it to, what do we need it to do? Provide this here, right? The system will provide this here. All right, that's what the system will provide. Let me go through further to ensure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, so that's what we need. And okay, so the scope will be, the system will provide that. All right. And it will have these, and the system will use smart device for that. And will use all of these. Will be able to will be able to all right, so what the system will develop requires environmental control. So we're going to design a system device that will provide all of that. That's what it's going to do. The system will use smart, intelligent that. No, the system will use this. So the system will provide that, that. And the system will use automated environmental control to control the temperature. All right. To control the temperature. Customized phone app for remote monitoring of the system. A customized database interface for staff to manage. A customized database interface to collect and store information received from the smart devices. All right, what I'm doing is just getting the information based on what the system will be doing. We know that it's going to collect information from these smart devices. That's the only way the system will be able to automatically control temperature and what else is it doing? Control temperature, minimize security risk, yes, reduce carbon footprint. It has to be collecting this information. All right. There'll be new equipment for training staff. All right. And we're going to deploy and configure a cloud server, right? And we need cloud server. We know what cloud servers are mainly used for. It's for backing up data. For the system. All right. And the network infrastructure, it's going to use to connect the whole system. Entire network. All right. So basically we have it there. And so for monitoring the system, and we're going to use the cameras here. All right. For connection of the entire network, cameras. Connects the entire network. And we can talk about cameras that we're connecting. It's all here that we're looking at for 24-hour operations. We need to talk, we can talk about all of that. All right. And the scope, it's you don't have to do anything, a lot of stuff with the scope. All right, just write on what it does, what the system will do. All right, so I'm using down here and up here to write on the scope. So I'm using the system develop will require with the artificial intelligence and all of that to write on the scope. So because basically that's, and here is the entire scope. All right. So you're going to write on the scope. All right. And it doesn't have to be a lot. All right. Now the business case. When you're going into the exam for the business case, first of all, you have to have in mind what topics are you going to write on with for the business case, right? And with business case, we use we start with the business, the purpose of the business, right? So what is happening? So this company here, which is Max P Limited, need to install smart devices throughout the business. So I could start by copying and pasting Max P Limited because it's faster for me at this point. So it's Max P Limited, right? So I'm going to do purpose of the business, purpose of the project, or purpose first, right? So I'm going to start with saying Max P Limited, right? Wants to install wants to install smart devices throughout the business, such as that, such as temperature control, lighting, printers, and all of that, right? And they want to do this because it will provide all of this. They feel, they think devices will do all of this. Provide efficiency uh, on the utility bill, provide 30% efficiency on utility bill. All right, that's what they want. All right, so that's what they want. No, the positive options. So that would be the positive option. But the negative option, what if they did not, right? What if they did not install? What if the goals and the aims and the objectives were not met, basically? So they would continue having high electric bill. So if this is not done, they would continue to have high utility bills of high utility bills. What else could happen? Uh, there will be a risk to security. There will be a risk to security. Uh, staff well-being. The well-being of the staff will be negatively impacted. What else do we have here? There would be a high carbon footprint, and there would also be a high footprint. Okay, so basically that's the whole purpose right there. So now, what are the business benefits? Right? Uh, again, maybe I shouldn't have copied and pasted there. I should have just let you write, should have just written on what it should be. But this is the business benefits right here, right? Providing all of this. So the business benefits is there also. They're going to be, so this is the business benefits right here also. Okay. All right. So that's a business benefit. So there's no need to rewrite that. So the next thing we're going to look at is the time scale. So we have to look at the time scale here. All right. And to look at the time scale, yes, we have to look at the Gantt chart, right? So we're going to say that project should begin on when is our project starting again? So we go to the bottom of this, set task brief, and we say the project should begin on the 1st of February. (2021), right? And with the system completion, should begin on that. The system completion and implementation All right, the project should begin on the 1st of February. I'm thinking about how ways of writing this. On the 1st of February 2021, right? Yeah. All right. Should begin on that. All right, so we're not doing that. So with the system completion, yeah, with the system completion, and in this case, we need the Gantt chart again. All right, so I'm going to go back to my Gantt chart. Let me see something. I think I've opened the wrong one here. This was for one of my students. Let's look for Max P. Let's go Max P. X. It doesn't allow me to. I want to pod. Let's see if it's in BTEC. All right, let's use this one for the moment. I could have sworn I did another one. With the monitoring and all of that. All right. All right, so completion. So this should be see if I can do a quick search on this. Ah, here we go. That's the one I needed. And I'm going to need that one also. All right, so this one I'm going to get rid of. Well, and then this is the one I want. So that's the right one. All right. Hmm. All right. So that's the one I want. All right. All right, so this is the one I want. All right, so now the time scale. It begins on the 1st of February and it ends on the 31st of March 2021 with a system completion on the 31st of /03 slash 2021. All right, so that's our time scale. So the project should begin on that time, right? And completion on that. All right, throughout you have to talk about the different, we have milestones on here where we can say that the software phase, so we can put here the software phase the software phase 'was completed on, we're looking for software milestone, yes. The software phase was completed on the 24th of a second, 21. And then we can talk about the hardware installation was done. So we look for that milestone. Hardware installation was done. Will be completed. All right, let's go. Completed. On the 9/3/2021. 2021. Right, what else do we need to speak about? Right, so we're going to yes, the testing. We're going to say when testing was also completed, and each milestone there was a review. an interim review to check on progress. So it's going to be the milestone for testing. Say testing will be completed on 18/3/2021. 2021. All right, so we did that. And then so we will need to move this completion. All right, so we need to put a full stop here because this will be the end. So we're going to put this at the end, control for that. All right. So we talk about the different phase, when they will start, when they will finish, right? And I think we should put the starting of each phase on it. So for example, installation will start on the first of the second. The installation phase will be starting right after that software milestone, which would be the first of the second. So installation phase completed on that will start on right here, which is the first of the second 2021. So that's at the beginning, 01/02/21, and will be completed on that. And project will begin on that. The software phase will start at project initiation. It be completed 24/21. Yeah, installation phase will start on that and will be completed on that. Then we say testing now. So we're going to go to testing. So the testing phase will start on the 24th. All right. Which would be here where the stress testing is. We'll start on the 24th/02/21 and will be completed here, which is 18/3/2021. right, so we're putting those there. And we can talk about the regression testing. All right, so the regression testing will start on 12/3/2021. All right, so we can say regression. And it would end on the 31st, where the handover is. Hold on, let's see. Let's double check it. So no, so regression will end on the 26th, sorry. So regression will end on the 26th. Oh, it is the 31st. Okay, on the 31st slash 03/21. All right. And on this day, and the system completion will be on the 31st of the first. All right, so we've done that. We've put the time scale in. Now we're going to look at budget, right? So you're going to say the budget will be monitored weekly. Budget will be monitored weekly to ensure proper financial management, to ensure proper financial management. Mhm. All right. There is a total allocation sorry, there, okay, manage financial management, sorry. So you're going financial management. The total allocated budget is now we need our paid back that we had before. So the total allocated budget is £125,000. All right, so we go back to is £1,000, right? So that's our total allocated budget. But we need to put the estimated cost of the material is, and we go back up and we find it up here. Where is it? 60,000 677. We copy that. All right, so material, that's a material cost. The total cost of material is this here. All right, so, and then we're going to subtract, oh, and we're going to say what the material involves. All right, so we can copy what the material involves. So we go back, sorry, not there. Okay, because this is your budget, which includes this, which includes so this is our material cost. So we put it there. All right. All right. So that's what it includes. And we say we're going to monitor the budget. Okay, good. So we did time scale. I'm just going to highlight it here so you know what we have done so far. And then we're going to highlight this here, that. All right. So now, which includes all of this. Yeah. And now we're going to say the remaining cost. So we're going to subtract this 60,677 from the 120. All right. So that would be 125 minus 125,000 minus 60,000, what's it, 677, right? Will leave us with 64,323. So that leaves us, this leaves a remainder leaves a remaining. Now, what could we say? We could say this leaves what was the cost again? This leaves £64,323 for labor, testing, and contingency. Testing and contingency. So that's what is left. All right. See if that for okay. So that's what is left. All right. No, I don't think we have to go any further on that. Now we need to look at the major risk. And we could, right? We could just use something generic if you want, but they don't want you using generics usually reduces the points. Yeah. So we need to look across here to see what the major risks are with this project. Uh, what are they doing? They're optimized app, cloud server. So let's just do something generic where we could just say the major risk the major risk uh, is that new technology using AI new technology will be used on the processes this project. Because we're working with AI. AI is a new technology as want to just got a message. Okay. As part of the project and this this may result, sorry, this may result on foreseen problems delays and extra costs. And that's what we're going to just do for major risk. And that's it for a business case for now. You can add more to it, but this is just what I'm doing for now. All right, let's look at all right, so that would complete this section of the PID. All right, in the other section, we're going to look at assumptions. Oh, we need to fill out this before we complete the section. Let's look back at our Gantt chart. Let's look at our Gantt chart. All right. Now, remember we said we need our project will start on the different sections. So let's just put some start dates in. All right, let's just hide the duration so we can see everything. Hide that column. All right, and we're going to hide the predecessors. All right, and then we're going to hide. All right, so we have, all right, so creating customized app would be the first, second, the 4.2, good. Then the next one would be setting back end, would be 5.2 that to 17. Is it 17 on this one? 12.2, sorry. So this is 12.2. All right, so this will be 12.2. All right, and let's do who's working on them. And these would be Harry Smith and Bobby Gray, both of them, owned by Harry Smith, AD, and Bobby Gray. Oh, you know what we could do? We could just go to task and we just select these and we just copied it from and go to assign and then we just copy it. So we can, or we can copy it, or we can copy it. So it's, we have to do it the manual way. Bobby Gray. Okay, so we have those guys working on it. All right, then we're going to do this one, worked on by the same guys because it's the second one. So these guys are working on it. All right, and then configuration, which is right here, will be worked on by Mr. Let's look at the assignment. So we're looking at this one. Or configuration, security protocol, and deployment is Ahmed Afki. And then the next one would be installation of network infrastructure will be by Sam Mendele. Oh, what is this doing here? We don't need this one here. So deployment, where is it? Deployment, configuration, command, security protocol. So these two guys are still working on security protocol. This one should be Control V. And then we get rid of this one. And we're going to put it here. All right, we're going to, and then we installation of network infrastructure will be Sam Mendele. Mandele, sorry. All right, installation of cameras and sensor won't be the same guy. So we just copy and paste them here. All right, so all three of these, we were supposed to change these back because they're all saying Jessica Woods and it's not Jessica Woods. So let us change it right now before we even continue. We're going to do it at the resource end. So we're going to do it at the resources end. We're going to change the name. So we need our we need Minnow to be on it. And sometimes that will happen in the exams. So you have to be very careful. All right. Yeah, she's a junior network engineer. All right, and the next one would be Steve Taylor. Go back to resources. All right, and you notice it has changed in the assignment. All right, so now we're going to look at installation of, okay, where were we? We were at so we need, that's deployment of and configuration, installing network infrastructure. Steve Medele, Sam Medele, sorry. Installing cameras and sensors. Okay, then stress testing up. So Jack Alderson. Allardyce. Installing and configuring hardware. Okay, so that would be all the network engineers. So it's Jessica Wood. Steve Taylor. And Minal Haq. All right, so we have installing hardware twice. We don't need that. We can go to, we need to put something else here. Let's put software testing. So we put software testing, and who is doing software testing? Allardyce, Jack Allardyce. All right, and we need to replace this one also. Cameras, installing, configuring hardware. Let's use this one. Installing, configuring hardware, worked on by that. Okay, so who works on it? Jessica Wood. All of the same guys. So I could just copy these here. Oh, it's missing. So configuring protocol, Bobby. That Medele worked on by Medele here. Okay, we did. So we're going to ensure that everybody has been placed on it. Okay, good. All right, so now we need to put the dates in. So let us put the dates in for these. Configuring security protocol, 12/2/2021. And 24/2/2021. Worked on by, we have that. And then deploying, configuring cloud server. That'll be 1/2/2021. Start date. And we're going to end it at 2/2. And then we have installing and configuring hardware. That would be 3/3/2021. on the end on 093, 09/03/2021. Installing network infrastructure. That's 02/2021. And installing cameras would be 11/2/2021. Slash. For stress testing up. Can move this 24/2/2021. (11/3/2021). Installing and configuring hardware. Yeah. Software testing. 11/3/2021. (9/3/2021). All right. When you're doing this area, ensure you stick to the table that's on the PID. Notice I've increased my PID. But for time, ensure you stick to the PID. All right, we're going to finish this section.